Okay, so we're working with island and element spacing. This is primarily an object set distribution tool, but we do have ways of managing a singular object. So an object set is when you have two different objects selected, and in this case, it would be with an instance modifier. So be 1, 2, and then a right click on the preview to add the instance modifier type to it. Okay. And you see we have unwrap UVW channel 1 specified. I'm going to turn off that number now just for the sake of it to avoid confusion with people. We're going to turn off rename modifier and channel number, and I'm going to click reset renamed in selection. I'm going to click OK. That just changes the name for me so it's easier. And it can cycle through, so if you have many modifiers renamed, you can just click that and it'll clean it up. Okay, so we're going to select the object set distribute here. Let me open up the editor for a better preview for you. Okay. It's nicer to learn with something that goes beyond the U1 view on space. So we can click this and realize that we need to have faces selected. So all the elements are selected now. We can click this to distribute. So what we've done is we've taken one object and we've placed it, stacked it on top of the other object. So we're going with a vertical stack. And then we can do this one, which is a horizontal stack. So you see this 4 blue, 3 red, moving from left to right. And then we have orange. That means that we're going one object on the left, one object on the right, next one on the right, next one on the right. And we end up with a long row of these selections. We can add padding here. So I'm just going to pop in 10 pixels based on a 512 image. Then I'm going to select that again. Now we have the padding between the objects, not the elements itself. Okay. Now what we're going to do here is distribute. Okay. I need to select them all and distribute. Okay. So now we're adding the padding between the elements, not just between the objects. Okay. If I select this button here, it will stack the object's elements at 0. And it doesn't mean like every element will go down to 0, 0, 0. It will take the selection set of each object and place it at 0. So there you see that. Okay. So let's grab this set and move this over. It doesn't matter. We can distribute it anyways. I'm going to now click this distribution method, and that takes one object, and then it places every element from left to right. And by element, I mean UV element. Okay. Then it takes the next object and stacks that on top and does the same thing. Okay. So we're going left to right, and there we are. We can click fit fill, and that will normalize it to the space. If we don't like the way that looks, we can then do this and place it. I can select it all and click fit fill. There we go. That's filled to the space. We can continue doing that, whatnot. I'm going to select these again, and now we're going to just distribute and distribute. And you see we're getting different results here because one object on top of the other. So let me show you. This panel is pretty wild. So there we are. So you have this object with this amount of space between the elements, and there we are with that one as well. I'm going to select all of those, and now I'm going to choose these buttons to cycle through. So you have that spaced out between objects and elements. You have the 10 pixel padding. Now we're not getting different alignments here. So what you see here is line top, line middle, and a line bottom. But all of these are the same height, so we're not getting that as a visual on this. I suppose what we can do is take this and rotate that. Now we can do this again and align top. Okay, there you are. And then align bottom and align middle. Okay, and it shows you the layout that we're getting. It's a better preview, I suppose. Then we can do the same thing with going top to bottom and left to right. So top to bottom for the elements and left to right for the objects. Okay. And there you are. You see that you have the 10 pixel padding is consistent across. If you do not want the pixel padding, right click and then perform the same function. There you are. Now there's no padding and you can just continue working how you prefer. Let's go down here now. We can actually work on object sets with this, but you want to be aware that you cannot use the object sets for a single object. Sorry, you can not use the object set functions for the single object. You can use, let's load that in so we can see this, the 0, 0, 0. It will just place the model in the bottom left corner, similar to this button here on the place and stack. Okay. Then we have this as well, which would do the same thing, but as a full selection, whereas this would stack the object sets, the objects of the object set, I should say. Yeah, this is a little odd to cover for full explanation. And I'm kind of burning my brain out on these videos too. So let's now select this to see what we can get from it. Let's open this up for a better preview. Okay. So we're distributing single object, the elements within the single object. So you can see why we don't want to run the object set features on the single object, because we have the functions for the single object to operate on, right? So there you are. Single object and object sets. You can distribute columns, rows, and add pixel padding or a uniform padding that is based upon a percentage of the element size. It's not the best solution, but maybe it works in some instances. It's nothing worth displaying right now, since we have pixel padding and image sizes as a specified setting. All right, next video.